Home Alone has been considered a quintessential Christmas film ever since the moment Macaulay Culkin slapped those childishly handsome cheeks and yelled at the top of his lungs all the way back in 1990. But the John Hughes and Chris Columbus classic has developed into a franchise of straight-to-video holiday specials, meaning the series has offered the proverbial mixed bag of good and bad filmmaking throughout its 30-year history. I'm Jacob, and in this video edition of Ranked, we at the Film Magazine are looking at all 6 Home Alone movies. Yes, there have been 6, and judging them in terms of quality, enjoyability, critical reception, and public perception to rank each from worst to best. Have a favorite Home Alone movie? Let us know in the comments, and remember to like and subscribe.
I made my family disappear.
Number 6, Home Alone 4, Taking Back the House. The fourth entry to the franchise is nothing short of a disaster. A clear cash grab intended to capitalize on the burgeoning DVD market, this Rod Daniel straight-to-TV feature recast the iconic roles of Kevin McAllister and Marv. As if that wasn't sacrilegious enough, Home Alone 4 takes the concept to an entirely different level of absurd. Seriously, if you thought a child defending his house from fully grown men via a series of booby traps was absurd, wait till you get a load of this. In Home Alone 4 Taking Back the House, Kevin McAllister must ignore the instructions of his parents and rescue a crown prince from his old foe Marv and Marv's wife Vera. It is truly as painful as it seems. Number 5, Home Alone, The Holiday Heist. Thankfully, the 5th Home Alone film didn't regurgitate the great characters from the first in some lame attempt to gather an audience. But much like our previous entry, it did seem like a film written before the Home Alone branding was ever slapped on it. In many ways, it's another sorry attempt to grab cash from willing and hopeful consumers, rather than a fitting tribute or loving extension to the Home Alone franchise. The Holiday Heist did actually offer brief glimmers of something more than taking back the house, notably upping the casting quality to include Malcolm McDowell, best known for A Clockwork Orange, and Ed Asner, albeit in a brief cameo.
I have no idea.
The movie was directed by Peter Hewitt, the man who helmed Bill and Ted's Bogus Adventure just a year after the original Home Alone was released.
How's it going, Bill and Ted?
His work on The Holiday Heist at least attempted to replicate some of the feeling of the first few movies, but it was ultimately a poor tribute to a beloved series.
So what are you gonna play with first?
Number 4, Home Sweet Home Alone. When Disney purchased Fox back in 2019, Home Alone was one of the first franchises pinpointed for a reboot. In 2021, we got the Disney Plus exclusive Home Sweet Home Alone. From the director of Dirty Grandpa and Who is America, Home Sweet Home Alone lacked the Christmas spirit of the first 3 films, substituting John Hughes' brand of family affection for a more sarcastic, less innocent, at least in terms of the jokes, and less enjoyable experience.
He's hurting me, Pam.
Me too, baby. Me too.
By Home Alone standards, this 2021 Disney exclusive wasn't terrible, but it's hardly a Christmas classic. Home Sweet Home Alone is a lot like your standard throwaway streaming content, exploiting something beloved for the purpose of getting eyes on something we've all heard of. They couldn't even be bothered to bring back Macaulay Culkin, but perhaps Disney will correct that in the inevitable Home Alone 7.
It's a Christmas miracle.
Number 3, Home Alone 3. Home Alone 3 was not as good as the first 2 films, but if you were to judge it as a standalone holiday movie for kids, it was fine. Because it was written by the same John Hughes who wrote Home Alone 1 and 2, Home Alone 3 featured flashes of the heart that went into those original films, but many of their creative and somewhat ludicrous set pieces were sorely missing from this Raja Gosnell directed entry. Coming from the director of Never Been Kissed, Scooby-Doo, and The Smurfs, This movie is a huge step up from the others listed so far, even if it doesn't feature the same level of creativity and sophistication that was offered in Home Alone 1 and 2. And be sure to look out for an appearance from a very young Scarlett Johansson.
You've stained the family name.
Number 2. Home Alone 2, Lost in New York. How could they forget Kevin again? This time misplacing the poor cheeky chappie, played by original actor Macaulay Culkin, at a Chicago airport before boarding a flight to Florida, land of torrential downpours. At least this time, it's the flight company that is to blame for Kevin's misfortunes, as they let him board a plane to New York instead.
Didn't look this bad on our honeymoon.
Questionable narrative trigger aside, this is one of the Home Alone franchise's definitive holiday classics, the streets of New York showcasing the wonder and spectacle of Christmas, snow and all. While the narrative keeps the heart and spirit of the holiday at its core, there are also practical lessons about growing up, as Kevin comes to realize that living it up on his dad's credit card in a Trump-owned hotel is hardly as worthwhile or life-affirming as befriending a homeless pigeon lady in Central Park. Oh, and the wet bandits, Harry and Marv, played by Joe Pesci and Daniel Stern, are back for all of their usual shenanigans. With Chris Columbus and John Hughes teaming up behind the camera once again, this is one of those truly memorable children's films that combines grown-up themes with childlike wonder to offer a Christmas movie that is still watched year after year over a quarter of a century later. Number 1. Home Alone. You probably saw this coming.
Hello.
Home Alone remains the absolute pinnacle of the Home Alone franchise and is arguably one of the all-time greatest children's Christmas movies. Combining the heartwarming abilities of director Chris Columbus, the man behind Mrs. Doubtfire and the first Harry Potter film, screenwriter John Hughes, who is responsible for Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, not to mention a host of 80s teen movies, as well as legendary Star Wars composer John Williams, the talent behind the scenes was of a level that only comes around once in a lifetime. Every iconic image people hold in their heads of the Home Alone franchise comes from this movie. Whether it's Marv stepping on a nail, Kevin screaming after applying aftershave to his face, or the creepy neighbor turned hero that likes to clear his driveway in the hope that his family will visit him soon. This Home Alone has the purest idea underpinning it, that Christmas is about love, forgiveness, sharing, and family. There are simply no substitutes. This is an absolute classic in every sense of the word, a perfectly orchestrated holiday movie for all the family, the best Home Alone movie in the franchise. And that is our ranking of the Home Alone franchise. Let us know if you agree by leaving a comment down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and be sure to use the link in the description to visit thefilmmagazine.com for more excellent film discussion.
Keep the change, you filthy animal.